Hello and welcome back. Recently, around 2 days ago, I was watching my favorite show on TV and suddenly the setup box popped up with some magic smoke. So I thought, why not to look inside the setup box power supply and basically repair it. So in this video, I will show you what's inside a setup box power supply and we will delve through the circuit inside it. So let's get started. Firstly, let's look at the peripherals of the setup box. On the front side, there are some buttons, some aluminum casing for basically earthing, and some slot for the card. At the back, there are some video and audio cables, some power supply cables, USB ports, and more. There is also a warning that states caution, do not open it up, risk inside. But we will still open it up. Taking some tools from my arsenal, I will start opening the setup box. There are around 5 screws on the front side or the front casing. After opening all of them up, we will free the casing from its fixture. And one more thing, as it is not a big power supply, it consists of only air gaps or spaces instead of a fan. The air gaps basically help to radiate the air from outside as well as inside and maintaining the temperature. So this is basically it, the power supply we are searching for. But the setup box not only contains the power supply, but it also contains some chips, or to be precise, programmable chips, some card retrievers which retrieves the information from the card, some circuits for the buttons provided at the front which gives the information to the programmable chip. But our concern is only with the power supply. So let's delve into it. Let's understand the power supply. Firstly, there is mains coming inside via a connector which we will remove afterwards. There is some NTC thermistor for inrush current limiting, some MOVs or metal oxide varistors for over voltage protection which are basically rated for 275 volts, some interference capacitor, a line filter which is a common mode choke which filters out the noises or the common mode noises. There is also some diodes which make a full bridge rectifier and the rectifier rectifies the mains. After rectification, there is a big 450 volt 22 microfarad capacitor which basically filters the ripple out. Then there is a chip with inbuilt MOSFET. The chip basically controls everything. Oh, by the way, this is a flyback topology or flyback switching circuit. The chip provides basically everything from under voltage lockout to PWM generation and the MOSFET for switching circuits or switching transformer. The transformer with a horizontal bobbin has many secondary windings and two primary windings. The two primary windings include one primary and one auxiliary winding. There is an optocoupler which is the most important part of the SMPS. The primary and the secondary side are isolated by the optocoupler and a small gap. The optocoupler is basically a type of feedback which feeds the voltage or senses the voltage and feeds it to the auxiliary winding. There is also class Y capacitor for protection. There are quite important in SMPS. Some snubber networks with a high watt or the power resistor, capacitor and a diode. Basically a Schottky diode. Then at the output there are multiple windings as the chip requires different voltages like 3.8 volts, 6.8, 12 and 17 volts depending upon the current rating. We can see on the board that there are a list of various outputs on the secondary section and it is quite easy to understand. There are a lot of missing parts on the board which are basically unused or to be precise unwanted, and to economize the products they have been removed. So one last missing piece of the circuit or the board is TL431 which acts as a reference voltage, and it shuts down the primary as soon as the reference voltage is exceeded or the desired output voltage is exceeded. There are a lot of SMD components on the backside of the board. SMD stands for surface mount devices, and the technology is called surface mount technology. But anyways, there is also isolation gap between the primary and the secondary, which separates you from the mains, and it is quite good to have, and it must be at least 5 millimeter. But anyways, this is a quite intelligent technology of switch mode power supplies which have replaced all the linear power supplies where the bulky transformers is used. Once again, thank you for watching. Like, share and subscribe if you like the video. And what are you waiting for? Go hit the bell icon and stay tuned for more videos like this.